So we've just finished our meeting for the 3rd of August. It was quite a quick meeting tonight. People were a little bit sad though, because we were meant to be on a community trip. We had planned to go to Mallacoota and have our meeting in the Genoa Hall. So we were sorry that we couldn't do that. Obviously that was due to the COVID restrictions at the last minute. So we value those trips to the community. We always look forward to them, but happy to say that our officers are looking to reschedule that trip for later on in the year. So the first thing to mention is that we had a notice of motion tonight. The council resolved to write to the Auditor General to request a performance audit on the 2019 state government decision to cease native timber forestry industry by 2030. There were a couple of items around the Agriculture Sector Advisory Committee. One of them was just really a procedural change, but to admit one new person onto that advisory committee, which we're very happy about. The second one was probably more substantive in that our advisory committees play a very important role for council, and one of the things that the Agriculture Advisory Sector Advisory Committee recommended to us was that we should review the recent EPA regulations on industrial waste, and to look at what impact those new regulations were going to have on the Agricultural Committee. So council resolved to accept that recommendation, and will do so. The next item was a very important one in our view, and the proposal was put to council that council act as an auspice agency for a community transition grant, and this is particularly in relation to the Nawanawa and Swiss Creek communities. They've asked council to be the auspicing body. I think they've run out of steam. There's a lot of fatigue in our communities. This money is available to help a really important process, timber transition process, and that money will go to looking for new opportunities and jobs in those communities to secure their futures. So council resolved to do that. So very pleased that that's going to go ahead. We adopted a new service review policy, which will help council in the process, the annual process of reviewing its services. It's always somewhat difficult task, I guess. It's very easy for council to take on new services, but very difficult to cut them back or to make them as relevant and targeted as they possibly can. So that new policy will help council to do that. We had a contract extension for materials and services for our libraries, and that's an MAV collaborative procurement. So it's a contract extension, that one, so it was a little bit procedural, but it did give the opportunity for some councillors to make some fantastic speeches about how much we appreciate our library services in East Gippsland and what a wonderful service they do provide to our communities. So that was great. Another small contract, a tariff tender around the gas. And then finally, another very exciting contract variation, which was around the World Sporting Precinct. And council agreed to have one of the hockey fields now put down in to have a synthetic pitch put down there at the World Centre. And again, an opportunity for councillors to really speak about how much that World Centre project is going to mean to our local communities and more broadly too. It's a fantastic project, and having a synthetic pitch for the hockey players will, I'm sure, attract a lot more players, especially this time with the Olympics on. People will be really inspired to get out there and really appreciate that new facility as it's built. So that variation was welcomed by council.